All right, color pencil demo. What I have is a sheet of black paper and a sheet of white paper. You can do this on colored paper if you want. Let me move the shoes out of the way. Um, I also have a set of Prismacolor pencils. If you don't have color pencils at home, you can ask to check one out. Email me first and I will get one to the library for you to check out. I also have metallic color pencils and things like that, but let me know. I think the ones that you check out, there's like only a few that are this big. The other ones are just small cases of, I think, 12 color pencils. But the first thing I want to show you is what is called burnishing. So burnishing is a technique. Burnishing. And that's pressing hard and not allowing paper to show. Okay, so what the heck does that look like? I'm going to take this red, and let's go with a green. That'll be interesting to see how that turns out. So burnishing, I'm going to start with creating a box. And I'm going to do an ombre from one to the other. So let's kind of zoom into this. So here we go. Burnishing is pressing really hard, and I'm using small circles and lines. But as I'm doing this right now, I'm not pressing hard enough. I'm going to gradually build up. So, but you can still see the granules of paper showing through. When I start to press harder, those gaps are going to get filled in. But what I want to do is create a gradient of a concentration of red on one side, and then it's going to fade to the other side. Zooming. Okay, so now I'm just going to continue to shade over, and I'm lifting up on pressure as I'm moving to the left because I want this ombre look. And fading, fading, fading. Like that. Now I'm going to go back this way and really press down. Really get that in there. And I'm cross hatching. So I went up and down in one direction, and now I'm going the opposite direction. And then how do I softly blend it out across? Well, I'm going to allow this to be not quite as concentrated because I want to eventually bring that green over. But it should be a solid red on this side. I think that's just the glare. That's not white paper showing through. But fading it some more. A little bit more red. And then less red as I go to the right. Okay, so it's kind of a start with burnishing. The real burnishing is going to happen when I put in the lighter color. So I'm fading the darker color because I don't want a solid wall of red. And then the burnishing will happen, and it'll get kind of muddy when I add the green because they're complementary colors, they're opposites, right? Okay, here we go. So let's try the green. I'm going to actually turn this upside down because I'm right-handed, and it's hard for me to like go that way. So this green, I'm going to burnish it. Should have sharpened it. And I'll show you how to sharpen a color pencil with an X-Acto knife. And that is really how you should be sharpening pencils in general. That's kind of nubby. I'm going to pause it for a second. Resume. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to go back in there with my newly sharpened pencil and small circles and blend, blend, blend. And it's starting to get that, that ugly brown color. Or maybe not ugly. That's just me. Okay, so I'm blending it, cross-hatching it. trying to burnish the green side so it's solid and green, and I don't get any red in there. This reminds me of a Granny Smith apple, but I'm burnishing all the way through because I've got this little bit of red already blended this way. So I'm going to go ahead and just start burnishing, like pressing down really hard, but not too hard to break the pencil, and then burnishing over to the right. All right. So there we go. There's that gray brown. And actually they said that this is a really good way to create your neutral browns is by mixing complementary colors. It's better to mix your browns than like to use it straight out of a tube or like straight out of the pencil. Okay, so this is burnishing. So now you can see all the little gaps where the paper is showing through are getting pressed together. So now we don't have any gaps, and it's kind of shiny when you do the burnishing. So there's burnishing and blending with burnishing. I want to clean the tip of my pencil off and maybe burnish some more this way and get that blended out a little bit softer. Okay, so there's my gradient using burnishing. The next technique is called soft blending, which you're more used to. This is called soft blending. Low pressure. And paper shows through. Paper shows through. Okay, so what does that look like? Let's start with green on this side. I'm going to do the same little box. And you can follow along with this or and do your own or come back and revisit it later when you've got a set of color pencils. Okay, there's my red. And I'm going to go from this green to the red. Yeah. Okay. Small circles, blending gently, pressure, not a lot of pressure, and you can see the paper showing through. Concentrating it at the beginning, but not quite burnishing, not that level of pressure. And then as I move to the left, you're going to have to really control your hand and start lifting up gently, gradually, so it gives that ombre. There you go. So concentrated and then diluted. And I'm just going to go over it again. So it's a real skill to develop that ability to like ease up on enough pressure that you're creating a smooth gradient. So practice a few times. You're going to mess up, but that's fine. That's what happens. That's what artists do. Okay, so there's my green. And now I'm going to flip it over and do the red side. So soft blending. And these techniques, you're going to have to like figure out what's most useful to you and when. Sometimes you're going to need soft blending. Sometimes you're going to need burnishing. And then sometimes you're going to need to do a color blend. Okay, so let's concentrate some more up on here. Up on the left side. That means a little bit more pressure and a little bit more time. And just soft blending, soft blending, soft blending. And then really just ease up on that pressure as you move to the other side. Okay, so I feel like it goes drastically from this dark red to a light red, so I need a middle value of red. So I'm going to cross hatch a little bit here and add that little bit more pressure. little bit more pressure. Okay, so there's my soft blending gradient and my burnishing. So there's that. I will have this video up by the end or beginning of tomorrow. So if you need to revisit, that's fine too. Another thing I want to show you, I'm going to stop this for a second. If I can find. Okay,